Ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It is August 17th, Friday, 2018, and we are here for our 65th show.
Yes, we are.
All right. And also, it's the second show since the unintended painful hiatus, right?
Yes. I can't wait till you get better. I like doing the shows outside.
All right. So, as always, yes, I agree. I like doing them outside. Again, you're in the bedroom. We welcome you to our bedroom because of the fact that I can't move off of this bed literally for a couple of weeks. But I did speed up the timetable of the injury. Yesterday I said maybe back on court in 6 weeks. I think I'm going to bring it down to 3 weeks.
Just take your time.
Down to 3 weeks. So that's good news for me, right?
We'll know when your wound is closed.
Yeah, she has to pack my bandage, and it's like really a brutally painful ordeal. But she does a really good job. Really good job. We just did that, so I'm still a little shaky from that. It's good to be back, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm about 20.
Well, you've been writing the show all day, so.
So I'm about 20% physically, 50% mentally, but I plan to get back to 100% in 3 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
3 to 6 weeks. Let's go. That's how I'm gonna get down. 3 to 6 weeks. I'm gonna show her what the Sharapova thing's all about. Right?
You know what? I wouldn't even brag about it because I feel bad for you. It's gonna take you quite a few months, I think, to play tennis and get back in that strong shape you were with your leg. That's a delicate thing.
Yeah, and excuse the bandage in the camera. I just can't help it. I couldn't come up with a way to obscure it. So sorry about that. All right, so there ended up being a lot to talk about, actually. So I actually got up at around 5 o'clock this morning, and the bandage had fallen off my leg. It was a pretty painful early morning that kept me up. So what I did is I started writing at about 6 this morning. I mean, just little notes here, notes there. And then as viewer comments came in throughout the day, I wrote them down live time. So it was kind of live, but not because you're watching it here now. But I'm just saying, when I was writing them in, I wrote them down as I got a notification. So I wrote them down. And
yes, you were working hard on it.
So I did it all day. So again, I may not be able to deliver this and the manner in which I hope to, because again, I'm still rusty, very rusty, still shaky. All right, so anyway, so we're gonna start with viewer comments as always, in the order that they arrived. And 2, we're gonna talk about results from today, a couple of topics. Kia Sama came in and brought some really cool questions, and really cool topics. So I look forward to talking about Kia stuff a lot. And then we're going to talk about U.S. Open fantasy teams and who we think are going to make it to the second week, and maybe even further than the second week. And I already have one dark horse for me, and we talked about this dark horse before. 10 days to the U.S. Open. 10 days to the U.S. Open.
That's exciting.
Let's go!
Do you think most of the top players even bother playing the next tournament after that? Or do they rest?
I think it depends upon how much money you have in your bank account and how much that you could win, depending upon who's playing it, because after all, most of these players that play these tournaments right up to the majors, it's a matter of paying rent and not paying rent.
That's very true.
You know what I mean?
But I don't think we'll see any top guys or girls playing in the last week.
All right, so yeah. I mean, I don't think so either.
They'll be resting.
The top, yeah, but you're gonna have
you're gonna have someone like Cornet or Suarez Navarro or
Bertens
or someone like Tiafoe.
Yeah. Ryan Harrison.
Yeah.
Isner probably. No, he'll probably rest.
No, he'll rest.
Okay, so we're going to get right into comments. And the first comment, this was right after I had put a video out, what I call the explanation videos. A couple of people said, where you been? Well, when I was on the way home, I made a quick video of ourselves driving home. So I'm going to turn that the explanation video because people said things a lot on that one. So anyway, Waynham Chia came in immediately after and said,
hated doing dressing. First few weeks are really painful, even with painkillers. And then he says, yup, I had my surgery on the first working day of this year. It was a cyst infection just behind my left shoulder, 2.5 centimeters in diameter and 2.2 centimeters deep.
And then he said something about the dog.
And Rafa, yay, again, ha 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 ha. Wow.
So appreciate that comment, because sometimes I think when things happen to us that we think we're alone, and it only happened to me, but it sounds like something similar happened to Linam, and he's correct. Yeah, thing hurts. But
2.5 centimeters deep.
yeah,
Wow.
that's a good one. So yeah, thanks for the heads up there. Glad to know that someone that's in the group has been through an equally tough ordeal. So it's nice to know I got the brother out there that's done this before and got the T-shirt. All right, appreciate that. And Nadal, yes, he looked very good. I don't know why people are talking about, oh, it's gonna be a Federer Djokovic final. Well, I really think we need to put Nadal in that equation too.
Definitely, and the way Djokovic has looked lately, I'm sorry, but going to all these 3 sets, I don't know. He looked shaky mentally and physically.
Yeah. So all right. So the next comment is from Kia Sama. I'm gonna have you read the whole thing. Just start here and then just read that whole thing. And then Kia Sama on this comment took up 5 pages and a couple hours of my day.
Okay.
So I hit this hard. So we want to focus on that. Do I need to turn the Wawrinka Federer match off?
No, we're fine.
We got Wawrinka Federer right behind us. So we got to focus on this one because I spent a lot of time on it. This is big stuff from Kia.
So,
let's go, Kia.
Kia says, sending healing vibes your way. You and your lovely family will get through this.
So thank you for that because that's completely different than what you're fixing to read. Kia Sama, thank you for wishing me well. Definitely is always nice to hear that. And again, we hope to be back on the court in 3 to 6 weeks. Thank you, Kia.
Hope so.
All right, so here comes her big stuff, though. So read this clearly, kind of slow it down because it's important.
Well, Kia says, shout out to you both for continuing to do this despite your situation. We should be the ones honor at your dedication. Again, here's wishing you a speedy recovery. As far as topics, what do you think of Federer's suggestion that the ATP 1000s should be the 5-setters as well? Novak countered that argument by saying that today's generation has such a short attention span, and I'm paraphrasing all this. That's the format that should remain as to garner more interest in the sport. No one wants to sit around for hours here looking at you, Wimbledon, watching a tennis match. Interested in hearing your thoughts about that. P.S. Mentioned some videos back about Djokovic's attitude during the hardcore season so far. And maybe I'm just being too nitpicky, but I really think the introduction of the shot clock is playing a factor on his inspiring play. He even alluded to that on an interview or two. And if you're so ingrained in a ritual, maybe he bounces the ball a number of times in his mind to get into a rhythm. And suddenly you find yourself having to readjust everything so quickly, it can be a huge psychological hindrance. Now, some might say Nadal's doing fine, since he's also known for taking long before serving. But the human mind is a puzzle and works differently for each individual. Thoughts about the intro of the shot clock as well. Well,
you talking?
Well, as far as I did watch that interview actually that she mentioned with Federer, saying that he'd prefer to watch 3 out of 5 sets and then Novak countering that. I don't think that it's a good idea to have these ATP tournaments for the guys to play 3 out of 5 sets. I think that's a lot of wear and tear on a man's body. They can do that at the Grand Slams just as it's, as it is now. I mean, I didn't agree with Federer on that. I mean, you want to see quicker matches because they play tournaments almost every week. So if you had 3 out of 5 setters, a lot of these top guys would be out of some of these tournaments, They wouldn't last too long. And then Novak said that he would like to see 2 out of 3. Did he say 2 out of 3 including Grand Slams? Did Novak say 2 out of 3 also in Grand Slams?
Yeah, something along those lines.
No. 2 out of 3 should stay for the ATP, master tournaments or all the other smaller tournaments, and 3 out of 5 in Grand Slams, because that's where you got to prove yourself. That's where you make the biggest money, and it's a career changer. I'll do that one little part right there before I go to the other part.
Okay. Can you check the time? See where we're at time?
Sure.
Thank you. I can go.
We're at 9 minutes.
What time is it?
9 minutes.
We're at 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So last week, it may have been like 10 days ago because of the leg thing, but I think Furzy09 put me to work for like 9 pages on a couple of questions, right? Mm-hmm. She didn't quite get to 9 pages, but Kia took me 6 or 5 or 6 pages.
6 pages, wow.
5 or 6 pages. So she sent this.
Well, I just answered the first part. I didn't go into detail.
Yeah, she sent this 16 hours ago, and within the past 16 hours, I've kind of I have.
I'm sorry, it's so tough for me to sit Indian style.
Yeah, I've put my opinion on paper, nothing more than an opinion. And because I did so much today, I'm just gonna kind of scan through what I wrote, and then I'll stop and maybe elaborate. So some of this I may not remember. It was kind of just spur of the moment while sitting here with my leg hurting, right?
Yes.
So First of all, thank you for the get well stuff pertaining to the explanation video. But your comment that Carla just read was wonderfully written as always, and I really like this comment. So, first of all, the ATP 1000 slams being 3 of 5 sets. I think Federer said he wished all the slams were 3 out of 5 sets, or all the slams and all the tournaments. Well, that'd be cool.
Well, he said the ATP 1000s.
Yeah, ATP 1. Anyway, that's too taxing. For me, the game has gotten so physical. I think that's too taxing. However, I think on the flip side, Djokovic indicated that matches should be 2 out of 3. In other words, quicker all the way across the board, including slams. Well, that's kind of too weak. So that's one thing that's just my opinion. Now this is a great topic, and there's nothing new about this topic. This is a topic that you'll hear scattered around certain pockets for forever. Since I was a boy, we had these pockets of people. We were always talking about length of matches and how to shorten them, and so forth. So there's nothing new about this topic. So having been around this topic so many times, I finally realized that I'm just too dumb of a human being to know the answers. So I'll just give you my opinion. Okay? So, by the way, Kaya, this is obviously up for comment of the day. I don't know how someone's going to top 5 pages. It's possible. It's possible, though. So, my opinion. Here's my opinion. First of all, she mentions attention span. As I think Djokovic was somehow quoting that attention spans are slimmer these days. Therefore, if the matches are shorter, maybe I guess people will have a better chance of winning one, or whatever the implication
I didn't get
is.
Into that one. I didn't answer that, but yeah, she did mention that Djokovic mentioned that
people's attention spans are lacking. So in other words, they get on the court, and after a couple hours, they either get bored or they lose focus, and they just want to get out of there, whatever. And then the fans being the same, and blah 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 blah. I get it. Attention span, and I get that. So I'm going to read this real quick, and I don't even know what I wrote. I'm just going to read it as I have it jumbled into a messy pile, and see if I can remember the flavor of what I was thinking. So, yes, it's true. People have less attention spans than before. We have in this group many times discussed smartphones, social media, and the implications on the Western tennis game, and we all have agreed, correct?
Yes,
we've all agreed.
We've all
okay. However, why weaken the game? Why weaken the game? Because of a weaker-willed player. I mean, the best of the best will rise, and furthermore, you have to want it. If you want to be the best, you got to want it. Okay, so if one sits and plays Selfieville all day long, right? And they're used to that instant gratification. They take their and they sit around like a goat and they wait for someone to hit like, and they're more worried about that than what's going on actually in front of them. And if the fans don't want to sit long because of the same type deal, I mean, isn't everyone missing the big picture?
I don't think that fans are bored. I mean, if you're paying a full price to see tennis professionals play, I don't think these people have short attention span. I really don't. You're there to sit there all day to watch tennis matches. That's why you pay for your ticket. Don't you think?
Well, yeah. Furthermore, but why would we care to dumb down? And I mean dumb down in other words, make it quicker and more. Tennis isn't a game of. I mean, it's a strategic game. I mean, I get it. There's more power and there's more physicality to it now than it has been ever. But there still is a thought process to it. Some people will grind you down. Sometimes people will beat you quickly. I mean, if you rush the match, sometimes you're taking away from those that play a longer game. Some people play short games. Some people play a long game. Some people defend, like Wozniacki. Some people attack, Kvitov or Sabalenka.
Right.
So it's about how you play. So here we are. We're talking about changing the game because people are looking for instant gratification when they get off the court, and they're as Djokovic indicated, an attention span is lacking.
Well, they shouldn't be there playing a professional
Then you shouldn't
sport.
be playing a pro.
No.
Okay, you shouldn't be a pro. So second of all, I mean, it's really insane that we are even talking about it. First of all, I think, by the way, pertaining to 3 out of 5 sets or 2 out of 3 or whatever, I think it's fine right now. Nothing's perfect in life. Something's always going to be There's always going to be something you don't like. There's going to be things that you like and don't like. You got to take the good with the bad. Not everything's great, but there's more good, I think, in the current setup than there is bad. Therefore, why fix it if it isn't broken, right?
Well, I think that they're trying to obviously add more things to the game or evolve the game with the shot clock. I think that was a good idea. I think it's a great idea. It speeds up the game a little bit, and it makes it fair for each player.
Yeah, now I'm going to talk about the shot clock on the second.
I actually like it. I like the idea. Kaya?
Yeah,
I like the idea of the shot clock. I think that too many players that I've watched bouncing the ball too long, or picking their butts, or walking around, or clowning around. I mean, they should have respect for the game. I know you're going to get into, I know what you're going to say, so I'm not going to say that. But I think it's one of the best things that they've done in a while.
Well, we're going to get into that completely. And just, she really lit up my notebook. Really great topics. I mean, really, really, really good. So, for the current calendar, think about the calendar year in men's and women's tennis. I'll throw out men's as this example. They play pretty much from January in Australia all the way to, I think, the last tournament is Shanghai, and then the year-end Masters, and I may be off on Shanghai, but somewhere right in that Asian area, and then it finishes off in London for the top 10. Which, I mean, the top 10 thing, yeah, they win $1 million, but besides the $1 million, it's kind of just like a ice skating rink. It's like they're just, it's for the...
In my opinion, it's dumb to even have that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should just give each guy $1 million and save the money for... I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, to me, it's more like an exhibition.
It is.
I think it's a great tournament.
I don't even think that they should even have that. Just like you're going to get into a few things later on that I don't want to mention right now. But they make the tennis season way too long.
Yeah. I mean, it's long and taxing. All I'm getting at is if you're going to maintain a tennis season that long, then you certainly can't raise it to 3 out of 5.
No.
Now, to maintain the dignity of tennis, you can't lower it all to 2 out of 3. So it's going to have to stick in the middle. And I have an example on my own that I dwelled upon today, and it involves a tennis aspect as well. That will give you an example of why I would not want to shorten the matches. Okay, so I disagree with Roger 3 out of 5. I disagree with 2 out of 3 on all of them. Like Djokovic says, I like the current setup.
Same thing here.
I'm going to tell you what happened to doubles in my lifetime. Okay, the same argument people are having now about lengthening or shortening matches, 2 out of 3 and whatever. Look what happened in doubles. When I was a boy, played doubles, 2 out of 3 sets, same as any other set, right?
Right.
Now you play doubles, it's 2 sets, and then if you split sets, you play first 1 to 10 points with no ad scoring. That means there is no ad in, there is no ad out. It's just you get the deuce, next point wins. So they did this in men's tennis. They did it on ATP tennis. Okay, so the reason why they did this was because of the lack of support. In other words, ticket sales, T-shirts, sponsorship, or people buying doubles players' equipment, their rackets and their shirts and blah, 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 blah. I understand that. So the doubles matches were shortened in terms of losing the third set, make it a 10-point and no ad scoring. Well, what that did was make it even worse for people. Think about the psychology behind that. If I'm a customer and I'm buying something and I'm paying XYZ amount of money, and I'm the same customer and I'm buying something even shorter and it's the same amount of money or more, I'm like, what am I paying for? They've already taken some of the tennis away from me. So I think it kind of even backfired and made doubles look even less popular. I mean, it's like doubles was a pretty hot commodity when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
I don't know that it's always been super popular, but I think that they did make it. For them to shorten up and take out the third set and make it a tiebreaker, to me, is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I was running to the TV for it. That's not what I'm getting at. But I'm saying hot commodity in terms of if you want to go to a tournament, people are going to pay the money to see doubles.
Correct.
If some people love to play doubles, adult leagues, mixed doubles leagues, they bleed doubles. And
the older generation.
So they love to go to these tournaments. And most doubles players are strategists. They want to go and they want to learn these strategies. Not necessarily putting the ball down the line or weak angle across the court. So you've taken tennis away, and unfortunately, I don't think the ticket prices are getting cheaper, and therefore the psychology behind it kind of makes it seem like doubles is even like a fading away entity. It's like, man, there's no one here. There's no sponsorships to play it, or there's no commercials to play it. When you're changing sides, man, just shorten these matches up. Get them out of here.
Well, why even put doubles if you're going to do that?
Yeah, so there's nothing. All I'm getting at is there's nothing new under the sun about this argument. My 2 cents: leave the game alone. Everything has its pros and cons. For the most part, the game is fitting the times. It's a pretty good game right now. For me, my advice would be is to work harder and complain less and just deal with it.
Yeah. And sorry about the noise in the background if you can hear it.
So Kiyosama then it brought up something about Djokovic's current attitude and his slightly rattled hardcourt season. So I'm not going to say he's had a bad one. I mean,
he hasn't
he's on TV now.
But he looks perturbed by the shot clock.
Can you check the time?
It was at 17 minutes. It's probably at 19 minutes right now.
All right, so I don't think he's had a bad hardcourt. A little shaky, I will say. The shot clock, the ritual, potential. In other words, the shot clock changing a potential ritual of bouncing the ball 27 times and pulling your pant leg and then wiping sweat behind, whatever your ritual is. In other words, what she's saying and why he may be perturbed about the shot clock. We're going to talk about this. First of all, the shot clock, by the way, first and foremost, is a rule.
Yes, it's you as a junior, me as a junior, we had to follow those rules.
Yeah, so it's nothing new about this either. Again, the old saying, there's nothing new underneath the sun. This shot clock is not new. They have just vividly put it out for people to see. You have to think about why this has become a problem. It's become a problem because players have taken the umpires for granted.
Yeah.
And the poor umpires, and I'm not taking up for all the umpires, but the umpires are part of the team, right? Part of the process. So it would get to the point where someone's taking 35, 40 seconds to serve. The umpire looks over there and says, hey, I'm going to give you a warning for time. Then the player's staring him down like he wants to hit him with his tennis racket. Then the crowd's going, boo. So it would create a stink. So it got to the point, though, where you're waiting 45 minutes for Nadal to pick his underwear. Djokovic bounces the ball till the felt wears off. And gosh knows who else. But the refs were so intimidated, they had to somehow manifest a way just to curtail this. So they put up the shot clock. So it's a rule, though. I keep a book in my racket bag downstairs. It's the Friend at Court book. It's the complete tennis USTA or whatever rules, and it's a 25 second. It's a 25 second before your first serve. 25 seconds. So it's a rule, right? So what happens if in life we have rules and we break them? It's chaos, right?
Yeah.
Chaos. So why do we want chaos on the tennis court? I don't get it why it's a problem, number one.
Well, Djokovic shouldn't be complaining about it because he had, as a junior, he had to follow those rules. I mean, did he become so popular or is he a god or something that he's not supposed to follow these rules, or Nadal or anybody else? I mean, first of all, anybody bouncing the ball 25 times has some issues.
Yeah, and let's look at a little bit of order of echelon respect too. We now have gone on for a while about two players, namely Djokovic and Federer, talking about shortening or raising the game. I know they're great players, but who gives them right to manifest the new rules of tennis?
Nobody.
I mean, this game goes back, 1,000 years?
Djokovic is the president for the ATP Players Council.
Okay.
So that would give him the authority to say anything because basically they look up to him to make those decisions and I guess fight for them. So he would have the authority to say something. But as far as him complaining about the shot clock, he shouldn't complain about it because it's a rule.
Yeah.
It's a rule. It's in the USTA Players Guidebook. When you go to a tennis tournament, you got to follow that rule. Just like warm-up time.
You see what the time is? You got to finish your thought.
23 minutes.
You got to finish your thought.
So, I mean, when you go to a tournament, they tell you, you've got 5 minutes to warm up. This was the other problem that they had. That they're going to do at the Grand Slams. They're going to put the warm-up time because some players take too long. Also when you change over, I mean, it's 90 seconds. When you're about to serve, it's 25 seconds. You should follow these rules. Maybe that's why it makes the game longer.
So the little 2-year-old came in. He got a little rambunctious. So sorry about that. That's with 5 kids. Sometimes you get some unexpected interjections. So yeah, we agree with this. So I'll keep going till she gets the little 2-year-old. But the shot clock, it's now just an express rule because it's on the board. But it's always been there. And unfortunately, sometimes, in my opinion, and many others, is that the umpires just sometimes felt uneasy about enforcing it. They didn't want to become the hated umpire, and they didn't want to deal with the venue stuff. So it's been a rule. So think about it. So we have players complaining about this and that. How many sets that they're gonna play? A shot clock. They're rules anyway. Fact is, just follow the rules. And just keep it down, work harder, let's go, just work. I don't get why we spend so much time on bickering about just intangibles. I think the setup is fine. I think the shot clock, it's a rule. And it's unfortunate that we have to plaster it on the wall like a basketball court. No disrespect to basketball, but it has to be that way because it causes friction for the umpires, and it can be kind of a bad vibe at times with that. So anyway, I get the ritual part of it. She mentioned, what's the exact time?
25 minutes.
All right. So you can tell that Kia really got us brainstorming. So
sorry for the interruption.
What was he doing?
He ran up the stairs and nobody was watching.
Oh, nice. All right, so much for the 16-year-old babysitting. All right, so Kaya mentioned about his rituals and the shot clock messing up his ritual. Number one, again, the shot clock is a law, and it's been a law. It's been a rule, okay? It's not. We don't just go around breaking laws, number one. So that just indicates if he's being thrown off. In other words, it proves guilt in a way of his excessive time, if that's the case. If the shot clock has manifested him having a shaky service games, okay, well, that just goes to tell you he was abusing the heck out of the shot clock, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was. He was taking advantage of it and taking advantage of the umpires. So, and then he's not the only one. There's a few other players, but obviously it's bothering him.
But it's trivial still. If you learned a ritual, you can unlearn the ritual. If it's psychological, you can learn the behavior, and then you can forget the behavior. Get another ritual. Tie a little string on your racket. Bring a particular snack. Walk 7 steps on the way to get the ball. You can find different rituals that you can create to put in place of that ritual. If you're a ritualistic type person, look at Nadal and his water bottles. I mean, there's a lot of different rituals.
Well, you don't think that maybe Djokovic should start practicing on the tennis court, maybe bouncing 7 times as far as 20? I mean, he can get into the habit of bouncing at 6, 7, 8 times, 10 times instead of 25. I mean, everything's a habit.
Oh, we got more interruption. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. We got all 5 kids here tonight, and they're busting in the room. We usually lock that. So, anyway, will you lock that? So, see, it got me sidetracked.
We were talking about the shot clock and Djokovic.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. So I mean, let's be real here. The players took the shot clock for granted. It just got checked vividly. Everybody got tired of it. I was one of them. You watch a match, and if you had a 3-hour match and you subtracted just the time between serves when someone's bouncing the ball or whatever, and you took it all the way out of the video was shortened up by like an hour.
Yeah, can you imagine the first serve 25 times and then the second serve 20 times?
Yeah, and then adding
and
then adding them up over a 3-set match, putting it into
a lot of time,
and put it into a continuous set of clips and hit play. You'd be there forever. So that's how they can shorten tennis matches, by alleviating the dang bounce and not by shortening the darn sets and continuing the long bounce.
Yeah. I'm sure that he will adjust, just like anything in life, you adjust to it.
All right. So anyway, lastly on this topic that revolved Kiyosama, if the fans don't want to sit so long, give them a wireless hotspot for their device that's free, and I'm sure they'll stay for like 2 weeks and get mad when you ask them to leave.
But if people are paying high prices for these tickets, you really think they don't want to sit there? I mean, some of these guys want to see 5 sets. I don't believe that.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't believe that for one bit.
This whole topic has been about people wanting to leave. That's what.
Then why are you buying tennis tickets to go see these guys? Don't buy them.
Maybe they got the money like that.
But why would you sit there and just want to be there for 2 hours? You might as well watch it again.
All right, beating a dead horse. All right, what I want to get at is in ending is why then does no one get up before halftime of a football game or right after a soccer match? People stay through that. So why is it that people are insinuating tennis people get bored? I don't think that. I think if it goes 60-58 in the 70-68 in the 5th set, and you've been there for 12 hours, spanning 2 days, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, like the Isner-Anderson match. That was too much.
Too much. Anyway, no one gets up in the middle of a football game, and if people want to get up during halfway through a tennis match, that's mighty dumb to go in the first place.
Okay.
So great stuff, Kiyosama. You went 5 pages. I wrote it here. I forgot. Yeah, you almost caught Furzio 9. That put me at 8 pages, but that's great stuff, Kiyosama. Check time real quick, because I think we're hovering at like 31, 32 minutes. Got to be. I feel it in my head.
We're at 29.
All right, so 29. All right, so real quickly, right after that comment, Kia, great job. I had a comment from a weather fan of mine. Again, I've been.
He said, "What's up with the weather?"
Yeah,
that's about. And he said, "That's it. That's about it. What's up
that's
with
it.
the weather?"
Yeah, just read that one. All right, so he said, "What's up with the weather?" Again, I do weather videos whenever we get a storm that comes here. I'll go outside and film it. There's a playlist with these storms. I've done a couple hurricanes live outside when it was pretty bad, or some thunderstorms. But this summer, the weather has been pretty calm. It's been
hot.
It's an El Nino year, and it tends to be calmer when that happens. So I really haven't had any weather to film whatsoever. But if it does happen, I'll definitely be doing another weather video, and that comes from Weather Freak Channel 1. He does weather stuff too.
And he lives in one of the islands. I forgot which island.
Yeah, so
Trinidad and Tobago.
I think. Yeah. So he's really a good guy. He went through an earthquake there not terribly long ago. So we like him a lot. But when the weather comes, I will do another weather video. I promise you.
Okay.
So look, I'm gonna end.
Well, you should end it because you only have.
I know I've got to end it.
You only had 2 more comments.
All right, so I'm going to end. This is part 1 right now. We're going to go directly into part 2. I'm going to run out of time. And we are going to start directly into part 2. So again, share the video, click a like below, subscribe to our channel. And again, if we're still rusty, again, it's my leg, and I hope to be back on point soon. So part 2 coming up right now. Carlo always says,
Adios.
Adios. All right, part 2 coming up. Let's go.